Welcome back to Ashes and Influence, the space where conversation burns slow and every story leaves a trace. Tonight, we're talking creativity, mentorship, and the influence of words that heal, provoke, and inspire. Whether you light up a cigar or just bring your energy, settle in because this one's about to flow deeper than smoke. Tonight's guest is a wordsmith with vision in every sense. Vision poet. He's a poet, youth mentor, and the content creator behind Trashterpiece Theater, and just the tip with PP. Blending humor, truth, and perspective, his art challenges, uplifts, and reminds us that the pen still holds power. Welcome to Ashes and Influence, Vision.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Welcome.
Nothing. How you?
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for everything. Like, you were probably one of the first ones in my inbox giving me tips and tricks working this game, and I super, super appreciate you.
I don't gatekeep anything. Like it's hard enough as it is. You know what I mean? It's try, like the social media can be crazy. So I don't want anybody, specifically people I know, to like ever make any of the missteps that I made or mistakes that I made. So I'm like, yo, try this instead. Don't do this. Trust me on this one. So anybody I know, I'm always trying to like let them know any kind of best practices because like gatekeeping is just whack in general. It's enough pie. It's enough for everybody.
I agree.
I agree with you.
Everybody can eat.
Everybody cheat.
Short story. I attended high school with Vision just a couple years back. We just graduated. We just graduated a couple years ago. Basketball player, complete hilarious guy. He commanded presence just by walking. Like he wasn't doing anything special. He's 6'7", so you can imagine walking through a high school hallway.
That's a tall tree to climb.
But you see, that's why I wore the red. I wore the red for grass. You know,
I love red. Red is my favorite color.
Outside
of pink.
I love it.
Even back then, like one of the reasons I've always, I think we've always been cool is because it was more than just a high school experience. We had a community. We really did look out for each other. We might have we cracked jokes. We might have roasted each other every once in a while, but nothing ever was going to happen to any of us without it happening to all of us.
We were in Dobbins, if we was out West Philly, it was Bulldogs always.
We always looked out for each other, and that carries over to like what you said earlier about. I'm like, you going down this road? All right, cool. I've been down this road. Let me show you where not to go. Let me show you what works and what doesn't, because it's always been about community, and I'm blessed that I've had that experience because I've carried that over into my adulthood and into my middle age now.
Nice. So after high school, he was a part of a collective called Spoken Soul 215. I'm just gonna put a plug in that I would love to see that collective back together, and I would leave that right there.
Okay.
We had just Greg, we had Lyrispect, we had Misconception, we had Miss Wise, some of the dopest fucking poets, spoken word artists in the city of Philadelphia. Once a month on one stage, they would bring people in. Like it was a vibe, a whole vibe before we even started saying whole vibe. I like to see it come back together again, but I like following y'all all individually, respectively, realize where y'all are now. That damn Jamar and Anwar, watching the babies be 15 and 16 on that stage, to now seeing them doing great things. Amazing.
I think even with the harvest, the event that we threw every month, we wanted to make sure that we never made money off that. Like I think you would see it would be 400 people in the room, 500 people in the room, and we never made any money off that because the venue charged us 40% off top, and then we paid the band and the photographers and the feature. But it wasn't about making money. It was about almost like philanthropy, like having a big stage for artists to perform.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we specifically poets, we performed in art galleries. We had the little juke kind of vibes, like Just Words, shout out to Just Words. But the Harvest was this huge stage where international acts performed.
Wow.
It was like, yo, poets deserve to perform on that stage as well.
Absolutely.
We making money. We was lucky if we broke even after paying everybody. And sometimes I went to the ATM to make sure the photographer got paid or the videographer got paid. We wanted to provide an experience, and that's why it was called the Harvest Experience, like a live arts experience.
Okay.
So like, that's, again, community.
It was absolutely experience. There were so much that I learned about myself in those rooms, hearing other people's pain, hearing other people's stories, shit that I would have never even touched in myself initially, and to hear these people younger than me speaking their truth to life, like, it was definitely an incredible experience.
Well, luckily now they have a much larger platform that they can get out on, and because we need that in the communities. Even here, I don't know of anything here that they have that can, you know, cater to the young adults here that do have intelligence and do have something to say, you know, through their you know, spoken word.
Like it was always about, again, I can teach somebody easily to write poetry. Like that's basic 101 stuff. But what I've always prided myself in was trying to help somebody find their voice. I don't want you to sound like me. We don't need another Rudy Francisco. We don't need another, you know, we need the first and only you.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest thing, providing a space. Number one, back then, like even the start of Philly Youth Poetry Movement, shout out to Greg Corbin for starting that. Back in the day, all the spoken word or the open mics were like in bars or lounges, so it was 21 and over. So kids couldn't go perform or share. So Greg started PYPM, which was, you know, we have monthly open mics, and then that turned into weekly workshops, and that turned into the Philly Slam team, and just giving young people an opportunity to be able to just, hey, listen, I'm here, I got a voice, I got something to say, and then encouraging them to say it and giving it a little bit of structure. It was magic. It was really magic.
It really was.
Yeah.
It really was. Very unfamiliar territory at the time.
Yeah.
Y'all Blue, and then it was Breaking Voices, and then the Poetry Jam, all the things that make this such an incredible art. And I definitely appreciate PYPM, the Harvest, the Delaware Ave days, like all the things.
Yeah.
We're great to have that.
Awesome.
If your younger self could read your poems now, what would he say?
Oh man, see, I wrestle with things like that, because even in Trashterpiece, I always say I was stuck at Jason. I wasn't no tough guy. I was the student athlete, but I used to be with the tough guys. I used to be on the corner with the shooters and all that. So I had a little bit of that hyper masculinity in me, where I thought, you know, even when I wrote poetry back in the day, but y'all didn't know that at Grants. I would do that in my bedroom underneath the covers and then hide the notebook between the mattress, and like it wasn't something
That just gave me a
like,
vision.
You didn't brag about that. In the 90s, you didn't spend nobody who wrote poetry. It was gonna be seen as soft. And where we from, North Philly, like the last thing you can be seen as soft, specifically back then.
Yeah.
So I would tell myself, it's okay to be vulnerable. There's strength in your vulnerability, and take your time with it. But it's strength in being transparent.
Yeah.
If you tell your story, nobody can create a narrative.
Absolutely.
It's nothing you can say about me that I won't say about myself and then animate it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like if you
Say
got a
that.
story about me, if you got a story about me, write it, voice it, I'll animate it for you. I'm ashamed of nothing.
Right. Absolutely.
And
That's awesome.
that's what I would really lean into. Like, don't search for validation. You're already validated. You're
Right.
validated by the Most High. You're
Absolutely.
validated by your purpose. You're validated by your path.
I
Stop
like
searching
that.
for validation. Like
Absolutely.
I was heavy searching for validation. I wanted to be cool, like, you know, the drug dealers in the neighborhood, and even my teammates, Bambi and them got all the girls. I ain't trying to be like
Right.
that. Like, nah, you don't have to be like those. Shout out to Bambi. Like, just be yourselves. And that was a struggle. That was a big struggle trying to find, you know, like being comfortable just being myself. And I think a lot of young people struggle with that in general, and even the ones who don't talk about it, but now I would really lean heavy into that. Yo, like you are good. Focus on just being yourself. Don't search for validation. Be vulnerable. Be transparent. Be sensitive. I'm sensitive as hell. I feel everything. I feel everything. So like lean into that. It's okay.
Right, right. So I have a question for you, Vision. So if your vibe had a flavor, what would that flavor be and why?
Oh man, that's a great question. If my vibe had a flavor, it would be an ice cream flavor.
Oh, why ice cream?
Because it's decadent, but it's also like, you know, it is a process to create it. You know, it's not something that's naturally occurring. It takes time. And my ice cream flavor would be Rocky Road. You know what I mean? It's a mix of everything. You know what I mean? It's smooth, it's rough, it's sweet, it's savory, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, Rock and Roll got a lot going on.
A lot going on.
Rock and Roll got a lot going on, but it's so good. It's so
Absolutely.
good.
Layers, the layers.
100%.
Right. Well, Tasha, you recently turned me on to Trashterpiece by orchestrating this interview. And me and my son recently watched an episode just the other day. Tiffany, by the way, is my favorite character. I love Tiffany. She gonna read you for filth.
Yep.
I love Tiffany. But my question was, during the journey of Trashterpiece, had you ever had a moment where something flopped but still taught you something dope?
Yeah. What's funny is, it's funny that you say that, because I was blessed to kind of come out the gates with Trashterpiece and it just took off. Like I was blessed that way. It was, number one, it came from a place of depression. I was in a deep depression. I had lost a relationship, like a relationship had failed. We had lost a child. And then she had a son who I just adored. And when she left, she took the son, and I've never seen him again. And so it was like this, you know, it was this, it was weird, because at the same time, the Harvest had died off, PYPM had died off, all these things had happened at one time. And I just was trying to figure out, like, what is the world trying to tell me right now? So I always, when I can't change things, I try to focus on what I can change. I can't, you know, her situation was her situation. I can't change that, you know, but the dynamics of other things, I can't change that. But what I always lean into is art. So I started telling stories from, you know, around the way when I was a young boy. And the first story, it was literally on Instagram story slides. So I would type out 1 or 2 sentences with an orange background, and the next part of the story would be another 3 sentences with a red background, and people would just tap on it. There's 50 slides telling this story.
Wow.
At noon on a Saturday. And every day, like, yo, we need another one. So every Saturday from noon, it probably take me 2 hours to do all the slides, to type them out. And that turned into like adding little graphics to each slide. And I'm like, yo, I think I might be on to something. So I hit up a friend of mine who is a poet who was in Philly, who used to go to the Harvest, but he lives in LA. He's a producer too. And he's like, yo, let's go with it. So I taught myself how to animate. I can't draw for nothing, but I can use a bunch of, you know, I know how to use one particular animation suite. And I just started telling these stories. And next thing I know, it's 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 views. And HBO is hitting me up, and all these other people are hitting me up. And you know, celebrities are like in my inbox. And I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And then the world changed. And now the algorithms are different. And if now I post something, I'm lucky to get so it was such a humbling to have to deal with. Like now, like if I post on Instagram where it took off at first, nobody's like, my people who follow me probably won't see it, because that's just the way that social media is set up and algorithms, and I don't got no control over that. So I had to really humble myself. Like I was used to getting 50,000 views in 24 hours, and now I'm frustrated. And now I'm creating for the algorithm, and that ain't why I started.
Yeah.
I didn't start this to create for some algorithm or to try to be popping. I was literally just trying to tell my story and make some people laugh and think. So the flop was like last year, and I was dealing like, yo, like HBO, these networks ain't calling me no more. Nobody wants to meet with me no more. The celebrities won't even producers ain't even responding to my texts or my emails anymore. And I had to, it was a really great humbling to go back to what I started and then relaunching on YouTube, where I kind of just used it as an archive and like really taking YouTube and building a community on there. And while I might not have 100,000, 200,000 followers, what I do have is a dedicated community who don't play no games about me.
I know that's
Show
right.
up every Sunday, and that's the blessing. I would love to have viral episodes again. That would be dope because it's money involved in that. I take I want the bread all day. But more than anything, like I'm grateful for the lesson. Like I'm very grateful for that. This year I had to learn to just be content instead of chasing happiness, chase contentment, and that's been liberating. And it was all because of like flopping, quote unquote flopping last year, and having to really humble myself and remember why I did it. So I'm always going to be grateful for that and never forget it.
Or you better preach, okay? and that was God peeling away layers of you like an onion, peeling those dead layers away from you, so you could see the blossoming of the rest of that onion.
100%. It was also keeping people. My prayers are very pointed. My prayers are very specific. So I got a yes from a streaming service. They was like, yes, we're moving forward with this. And then a week later, everybody in that department got fired. Everybody got fired. And they got rid of the entire department. It doesn't exist anymore. But had I signed any paperwork, I would have lost my IP. My show would have been fired with them.
Wow.
Right.
So I got mad at like people, like, I'm like, hey, these people are shady. Like, I'm like, friends aren't calling anymore, or friends aren't. And you realize a year later they in some kind of scandal. It's like, yo, God was protecting me. I'm sitting here thinking I want this one thing, but God see way down the road. Like, you might be mad that you ain't got this right now, but trust me, you don't see what's down the road.
Delete, not denied. Delete, denied.
That's what's been amazing about this, again, like this learning this and stepping back and having faith and being content in the moment, like not worrying about happiness. Happiness will come, it'll go, it's fleeting, but finding a way to constantly stay content, being okay with wherever you are in life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here, I'm in this moment, I'm good. That's where the liberation comes, and that's where creativity starts.
Speaking of creativity, if your creativity had a zodiac sign, what would it be?
That's a good one.
It is.
My creativity, which is ironic because I'm a Libra, but my creativity would not be a Libra. My creativity would either be a Leo or a Scorpio.
Scorpio in the house. I knew it.
Leo or Scorpio.
Knew it. Speaking about
PP is a Scorpio, 100%.
PP definitely a Scorpio.
PP would be a Scorpio.
PP is definitely a Scorpio. Yeah.
But the arrogance, and I don't mean like arrogance in a bad way, but just like the gumption and the confidence of just creativity in general would definitely be into more Leo. Leos are confident as hell. You ain't gonna go 10 minutes before meeting a Leo and they ain't gonna tell you that they're a Leo. Like, they're gonna find a way to put that into a conversation that they're a Leo. And I think so it would be a combination. It might be like a Leo sun with a Scorpio rising or something like that.
Okay. I like that.
I would be remiss if we got too far into this episode and did not tell you guys about the horde of young teenagers who were hanging on to Mr. DeVirgilio.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. Vision Dad, y'all, he giving. Yeah. That's all I would say is he giving. And he had them high school girls in a chokehold.
Yeah. That somebody wrote in my yearbook. My yearbook, somebody wrote, "Fuck you, I want your dad." In my yearbook.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I know the feeling. I know the feeling, Vision. I had girlfriends that would come spend a night at my house just to stare at my father,
it's a
just to
mess.
stare at my dad.
He got so much goddamn swag
Yeah.
before we were calling it swag.
Yeah.
Standing in them basketball stands or walking the sideline, he just had so much damn swag. It was hard not to notice, Mr. Diva Diva. Vision, fireflies are claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me how I know.
Yes.
I want to know how that piece came to be. Was that during that breakup that you were talking about earlier?
That was a way earlier breakup. So I remember when the concept came to me. I was in a field with my dog. I had this like humongous bull mastiff, and none of the other dogs would ever want to play with him, so I couldn't take him to like, dog parks and stuff. He was like the sweetest dog, but nobody would ever want to play with him. Everybody was always afraid of him. So I would take him to this field he could just run by himself, and I think it might have been like the spring, and like all these fireflies were out, and like it was almost like Times Square out there. It was just so bright and it was beautiful, and he's jumping around and I'm enjoying my inner child is enjoying the moment. And it made me think about how like when we were young, we used to like catch them and put them in a jar, but then they would die. And so I really started to unpack that, and I'm like, there's a poem here, but I had to like live it to write it. So maybe like a year or two later, I started dealing with this young woman, and she was very, very possessive. And she loved like that I was an artist. She loved watching me on stage, but she didn't like hearing the things that women would say when I was on stage. And I would have to deal with that when I got home. And it was cool when we lived apart. Like we could figure that out. Like it was like, the absence make the heart grow fonder kind of deal.
Yeah.
But when she moved in with me, it was like, where you going? I'm like, I got a show. But why you got to go? Because I'm getting paid and I got rent to pay. Like the same. I ain't doing nothing different than when you met, like from where you met me. And the crazy part is like that show you mentioned on Delaware Avenue, she was there that night and she was mad that I was talking to you and Rita. Like, I went to school with them. Like this my man. Like she was like that. So the concept came as like, hey, listen, we catch something that we find beautiful, we trap it, and then because we trap it, because we want to keep it to ourselves, it ends up dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's us in relationships. When you smother something,
Yes.
it's going to
What was
suffocate.
her sign?
She was a Scorpio.
Oh, well there you go, bruh.
She was a Scorpio.
And you being a Libra, y'all don't match.
Yeah.
I just whispered to Coco. I think she sounds like a Scorpio.
Yes, baby.
Yeah.
Y'all don't match her needs at all. Y'all can't handle that possessiveness we have. And sometimes, and her probably being the age that she was, she didn't know how to channel it.
At all.
Because I can be possessive in certain ways, but you'll never know it. You'll never know it.
If you can channel it, I think a lot of us have. I mean, we're human. We're gonna have jealousy.
Absolutely.
We're gonna feel jealousy. We're gonna feel some possessiveness. We're gonna, sometimes we get afraid that we're gonna lose something, so we hold on to it tighter, which ends up strangling it a little bit. I think it was, and I won't put everything on her. She was a piece. She was a lot, but I think I was so nonchalant.
Yeah,
I was
and that's
too nonchalant. Yeah. So if you get somebody who you get an air sign who's just flitty and flighty and and still and again, it's my job to kind of lean into the attention because that's how I make money. You know what I mean? Like I was gonna, I'm gonna be a little bit nicer so that you buy this book. And she just, I gotta be nice. I gotta so that you come to the show again next year. And she just wasn't for that. And so I going back, I could have done things differently. I didn't understand love languages and things like that back then.
Yeah,
so
you probably could have made her feel way more secure.
Yeah, definitely.
And Scorpios tend to be overthinkers.
Yeah.
So sometimes we just have to rein our thoughts in and bring them under submission and like match them against reality. Like, what do you know?
Yeah.
Based on and not just what you're thinking or feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. She was that situation was a lot, and The funny thing, we haven't. I mean, she stalked me for a little while afterwards. Like it got messy. It got like when she moved out my apartment, she moved down to the next 100 blocks, so like the next block down, so she could monitor who was coming in and out of my house. It was
my
it was a
God.
lot. But I think a lot of it was because I was just so not. Even then, I didn't care. It's like, you're gonna stalk me, that's fine. You can just do what you want. Like it was so much not caring that just really pissed her off.
Yeah.
But I forgive her, and I hope anything that I did to bring her to that point, she forgives me.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. You know what? Clock to your neck. You are a man of accountability. I like that.
I'm so flawed, and again, I look back, I'm like, damn, I could have handled that a lot better. You know what I mean? Like if I could go back, I would handle things. We were not supposed to be together at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was completely like a carnal thing. We were just really, really attracted to each other.
Lessons, not losses.
Yeah. I took the step back, and it's like, wait a minute, we really should have not have ever dated. Like this was never gonna work.
Yeah. Outside of Fairly Odd Parent, Fireflies Are Claustrophobic is probably one of my favorite poems from you. So what's the difference between writing for release and writing for performance?
So I found myself at some point writing for validation, the validation of writers that I respected. And I started writing because like, where we're from, a lot of people don't have a voice. And so I'm so not fulfilled when I write for performance. I'm not fulfilled. Even with screenwriting, like with Trashterpiece, it's not much difference than me writing poetry. Whenever I finish, there is a release. Like I feel there's a catharsis there that's amazing. And when I share, it's even more amazing because I'm sharing a part of myself, not just some stuff I made up. So even writing the Tiffany character, that's my sister. Like my sister watches and she's like, yeah, I said that. Yeah, I did that. And like, so if I'm proud of myself, if it gets 2 views or 200,000 views, if I'm proud of myself because I shared something from my heart, then I'm good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Authenticity and staying true to self.
100%. And just for the record, God, I'm not saying I just want 2 views. We're not putting that out there. But it's the principle that matters that we're talking about right now.
Please tune in. You will not be disappointed. So Vision, so when you do write, do you write better in chaos or in peace?
Wow. What y'all like? These are great questions.
Thank you. The best we need.
And there has been the last 7 years, I had to realize that I found comfort in chaos. Prior to that, it was a comfort in chaos that I found. Yeah, it's almost like, you know, somebody you walk into an office, in somebody's office, and the files are everywhere, but they know where everything is, and you can't find nothing. That was my
organized chaos.
Yes, it was an order to the chaos, and I think I created that. Chaos was almost like a crutch. You know what I mean? Like, because it's easy to conceptualize chaos. We know what that looks like. So many of us don't know what peace looks like. So we run from it. And whether it's, you know, life decisions or even in relationships, you know, you got somebody that's peaceful and it's like, oh, they're boring. Peace is supposed to be boring.
It is. And you know what, Bridget? I'm OCD. And what's crazy is when I'm at work, when things are in an uproar, I perform my best.
Yeah.
I perform my best. To me, that seems like. But chaos is not in my home. Chaos is in one little section. I have one little section in my house that is chaos. One little section. That's where I sit. And I know where everything is. And if someone touches anything on that table, it's going to be a problem.
But you're going to notice it. You're going to see it because, again, that's your little slice.
Yeah.
So that's such a great question. I feel like the last few years, I've found a lot of creativity within peace and being comfortable to like write that and project that and be okay with that. Whereas before, you know, whether it was, you know, writing or even like studying for a test, like I was last minute studier, it's chaotic, I'm cramming and I work really good with deadlines. I don't really work like I need deadlines. I need something to be working toward all the time. So that's why I know no matter what, Sunday night I gotta have a story up. So, you know, but now like I'm organized more. Like you don't need to beat yourself up last minute. It's okay limping toward the finish line, dude. It's cool. You ain't gotta do that to yourself.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Toughest boundary, to hold as a mentor and a creator.
Mentor, it was not internalizing everything. That's very difficult when you love somebody.
That is very difficult.
Yeah, because there's no way to not love the people that you're working with if you have a heart. I mean, sometimes you can, you know, you had a job you don't like, you know, you can go home. When you're working with children, you're working with young people, you know what I mean? Like you got a heart, like it's difficult not to like internalize everything. So that I always struggle with that. And also like as a man, I think this, but specifically, I won't say all men, but I'm a fixer and you can't fix everything.
Right.
I struggle when I can't. Like I get really down if I can't fix something. If I see something that's broken, or unfortunately someone who's broken and I don't have the thing to help them, that used to always bother me. And it's like, yo, dude, it ain't. Number one, that doesn't mean that's a bad thing, because sometimes that's what we need. I tell this story. I animated this story. It's called Wabi Sabi. When I was depressed, like again, it wasn't no income coming in. It wasn't that same year where all that stuff was happening. I ain't tour that year. Like it was just, I lost my job, my woman, my kid, my stepkid, my tour, everything. I have nothing.
That's that onion you was peeling.
Yeah, so but what I had was a car. I'm like, I gotta make some money. I gotta humble myself. I'm an Uber. I gotta make some money. These bills gotta get paid. I'm gonna just go ahead and hop in this car, humble myself. And I met this guy. I wasn't even supposed to be working that day. It was really divine. Like normally I only work that night, but something just compelled me to work in the afternoon. I got to the airport and there was like 200 people in front of me, but for whatever reason, I skipped the line. And this guy gets in the car. And nobody ever wants to talk in an Uber, which was also why I loved doing the job when I was doing it. But he wanted to talk. He was like the nice guy. He was like, it was a 75-minute run. And he's telling me about this. Yeah, it was a long run. And he's telling me about just coming back from Japan. He went to this museum called this Wabi Sabi Museum. And it's this Japanese philosophy where they find beauty in things that are incomplete, impermanent. And incomplete and permanent is something else. Where so basically like like flawed. So like instead of like this perfect vase in a museum, it'll have chips on it. Ooh. Or this display that's slowly eroding, so it doesn't look like when it first was put in there. And they find beauty in it. They find beauty in it.
Love to visit that.
Yeah, and it I was like, wait, I was supposed to meet you today because I felt incomplete in that moment. I felt
that moment. Chills. Oh my goodness.
I never worked during that time ever, and I was struggling. I was writing Trashterpiece. This was while it was still on the slides. I was writing it out. I'm like, there's something here, but I was low. I didn't want to be around people. I don't want, you know how when you're sad or when you're depressed, you feel like you're projecting that outwardly. So I didn't want nobody to see me. And I feel like I'm wearing that on my face, or there's a sign around me saying depression, and I don't want nobody feeling bad for me. So that moment, it was like this level of imperfection and being incomplete. It's okay. It's okay to be incomplete. It's okay to be imperfect. And that was the lesson that I had to take going forward, dealing with people. Like, I can't fix you. And maybe you're not supposed to be fixed.
My God.
That's hard.
You ain't got to be symmetrical or perfect. And you're flawed. That's a beautiful thing. And this person that you are right now, you ain't got to continue to be this person. You can evolve or erode. It doesn't matter. You're still beautiful. So like that was like God was me all kinds of messages during that time.
Think about J. Cole, cricket smile.
Yeah.
We needed
And
this.
you know what? I had a job that taught me that because I was a fixer. I'm the oldest child, and a lot of
Same.
pressure is put on the oldest child.
100%.
And you're supposed to make sure everything is done right. So I grew up like that, thinking that I had to do everything right and I had to fix everything. If it was broken or if it wasn't going right, I had to fix it. So after I worked for the military, I started working for Child Protective Services as an investigator. And you say when you work with children, you internalize everything. And you had to understand that you can't take every child home.
Nope.
You can't fix that parent.
It's impossible.
Right.
You'll run yourself ragged trying to do that. You send
Yeah.
yourself, you send yourself to a grave trying to do that. So
Yeah.
that's the long story long. The boundary has always been trying, like, just like putting up these walls where it's like, all right, you got to let that go, and you got to be over here, also working on you.
Yeah.
Where I would give until I ain't got no more, and then sometimes not have people replenishing that and pouring back into me.
Yeah.
But I think that ties into, that's a good point about the oldest child, because I'm my father's oldest child, and I've never thought it was anybody's. It's my job to pour into you. You the baby. You ain't supposed to do for anything ever. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's like that's not healthy.
It's just not the truth, and it's not the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
You can hear anywhere. Anybody can pour into you. You can gain knowledge, wisdom, anywhere.
Absolutely. I'm finding that out now.
Yes.
I'm the oldest child. I have two younger brothers from my mom, and they pour into me daily.
Yeah.
I'm always asking them, inquiring of them, especially since I'm recently divorced, going on 2 years now, and one brother is single and one brother is married. So being back in the dating scene and stuff like that, I'm always asking them about what's going on now.
Yeah.
Okay, how should I handle this situation or whatever? And they're much younger than me. One is 13 years younger than me, and one is 10 years younger than me. So yeah, you can definitely learn. Absolutely.
And your favorite character, that's Tiff. To this day, Tiff is the same exact way. Like, she was always, again, we had a bachelor party. My dad was a little player. He just was. And my little brother got 20 plus kids by 20 plus women. Like, this is like no exaggeration. And so she grew up in this bachelor pad with us, and she was the queen of the castle. Like, she kept us in line. And to this day, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, Tiffany is a tough cookie.
She is.
Again?
Tiffany is a tough cookie.
Yeah, she's an Aries and she don't play.
I know.
I know she's an Aries.
My baby brother is an Aries.
I don't make no decisions.
He does not hold back.
Yeah, I don't move without talking to her. Like, I'm like, hey, listen, what do you think about this? Because she sees angles that I don't see, and that's the humbling. Like, I don't know everything. Yeah, but she's also like, outside of just being, an Aries, like, she loves me for me. So she wants to see me do well. She wants to see me at my best.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to offer her other than my brotherhood and my love. We're like very different people in a lot of ways, but we have this bond, this brother-sister bond. And
that's so similar to me and my baby brother.
And that's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? Like,
it is.
Great.
You talked earlier about hypermasculinity. What's one truth you had to unlearn about love and masculinity?
Yo, y'all out here, y'all could be doing workshops on interview questions, yo. These are great. One thing I had to unlearn about love and masculinity, I had to learn to, like, really lean into the person that I'm with. If I can't, and it's okay. There was like a fear that if you show weakness, and this is a masculine thing in general, but it's definitely like a black masculine thing, because I always say there's difference between masculinity and black masculinity.
Absolutely.
It's good to hear that from a black man.
100%. Two different things. Some crossover, but it's different pressures, it's different standards and everything. So I always felt like, I would tell, the funny thing is I would tell young men, like, hey, listen, it's okay to cry, it's okay to do these, but I wasn't doing none of that. I wasn't doing any of the things that I was telling my peoples to do. And if you can't be with somebody who actually cares about you outside of just her ideas of what masculinity is, it's not going to work. So if I spent so many relationships not sharing, you know, things I was going through with the person that I was with, be it financial, be it, you know, just emotional things. I was like, hey, listen, she don't want to hear this. And I don't want to deal with this. I know she don't want to deal with it. And I'm not saying trauma dump, but I'm saying if you can't have healthy communication with, number one, yourself, you can't lie to yourself. And if you're lying to yourself, you're going to lie to the person that you with. Because but if you can't have this conversation, if you can't lean on them and you don't trust them enough that they won't judge you, then you shouldn't be with them in the first place.
Yeah.
And maybe you got some work to do.
Right.
So I realized I'm like even right now, I'm not dating. And I haven't dated since, I mean, I've dated, but I haven't been in a relationship since that situation, my ex. It's like I gotta figure out some stuff with myself. I gotta unpack my own bullshit. I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things that are 40 years in the making that I can't unpack overnight. I gotta get into therapy. We gotta unpack this stuff. Like, why is this the go-to?
Well, let me ask you this, Vision. How did your love for poetry begin? And what do you do in order to keep that love burning?
My love for poetry comes from my mom. My mom is like, my dad was like a blue collar dude, like construction worker, like just a man's man. Like he's not like hyper masculine. Like he has some hyper masculinity, but he's not like the machismo macho kind of. He just is. Like Tasha knows, he just is. He walks. He just is. You gotta pretend to be anything. He just is.
He show up. You know it's a man in this space when he show up.
He commands the space by just walking into the room. My mom was the academic. So she had me reading at a young age, and she had me like when we had book reports in school, I would have to do 3. Like I would have to do like 3 book reports instead of just the one. Like she didn't play about that, but she was very into like reading and writing. So my mom was like big on that. But also it's like, so I was like that when I was young. I got away from it when I in my teen years, and I got back into it in college because my college was a complete 180 from my high school. You know, my white blood in my DNA was the only white blood in our high school. That was it.
That's it. That was it.
Black flag. It was the HBHS. You know what I mean? Like it was black, and it was amazing. My college was really, really white and really, really rich, and I'm neither one of those. So I didn't fit in. And on top of that, like there was like some social stuff going. Like I'm from the hood, and even like the black kids there were from like, you know, really good schools and really good areas. So I leaned back into writing to keep my sanity. Like I got to get this out. Like you can't keep everything bottled in. And I tell men this all the time. You have to have, whether it's the gym, whether you're hitting the heavy bag, whether you're writing, whether you're doing, you gotta get it out. And so many of us men, specifically black men, we bottle everything up, and then it explodes on the wrong person. You can't control it. It's going you never know when a volcano was gonna erupt. It just does, and that's how we are a lot of times. Like at some point, you have to you got to get it out, or you're gonna project that onto the person that you love, and you're gonna mess around and lose them that way. Be it family, friends, or your lover.
You're gonna bleed all over the person that didn't cut you.
That didn't cut you.
That's the big thing. Like it's funny that you say that. That's why I really had to take a step back, because I find myself, you know, the big thing for me, whenever I broke up, it was always like that bad, terrible advice. Like the fastest way to get over somebody is to get on the It's awful advice. It's awful
That's
advice.
horrible advice.
It's because what I was finding is I was hurting the next person.
Yeah.
Because I'm ready to be what you need me to be. I'm sitting there. This is just to get my mind off things. This might have just been sex to me. And meanwhile, like now you digging me, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this ain't
that, baby.
And so I know for a fact that I put 2 women in therapy, and that don't feel good. That's a bad feeling, man. I had to really, I got to deal with that. And I'm grateful that I'm cool with one of them. The other one is just like, look, I forgive you, but stay away from me. And I'm cool. I accept that. But I'm really close friends with another one. So it's like, I don't want to be that person who hurts somebody, you know. So I had to be real intentional with like dealing with someone, because you can't always, you can't you can't always mitigate that. Somebody might fall in love with you and you ain't got nothing to do with that. Somebody might like you, you ain't got nothing to do with that. But if you can, you gotta be an adult about this and not try to hurt, like not either accidentally or on purpose hurt somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So touching back on that love and heartbreak and all those situations, how does that show up in your writing?
The funny thing is I still haven't so it shows up in a lot of my writing. Like I have no problem talking about that. Like I have a poem about this woman I was dating. She's from Philly. She's from Winfield in Philly, and she ended up moving to DC. And that's not like terribly long distance, but it's a 3-hour drive. And at the time, like, at the time I had this job and we had like downsized, so like I wasn't getting the bonuses no more. So like the way she was used to me showing up for her financially and being on the road, and we get to DC, we doing this and third, and we going to this place for dinner and this place for drinks, and because I had it. I ain't have it no more.
Right.
I ain't have it no more. And my pride couldn't say, like, listen, we might need to get some takeout. We can't hit U Street this week, but my pride wouldn't let me. So I'm sitting here running myself ragged, trying to still be this dude that she knew me to be. And now I'm eating ramen all week back in Philly. You know what I mean? Just trying to keep it. It's like, what if?
To your own detriment.
My own detriment. And so the poem is about not even, what if I told her what was going on? What if I told her that? You know what I mean? Like maybe she would have showed up different. Maybe we could have worked. Because again, it was a temporary thing.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here, I'm not being my full honest self. I'm not giving her the space to be a blessing or to be her whole honest space. And what if, and she could have been like, oh, I'm cool, I ain't signed up for this. And that would have sucked, but at least I would have known.
Yeah.
That is this thing where I don't know how I have no idea. The question is always going to be there. And she didn't understand. Like, she thought I was taking shows in Maryland and the DMV so that I would have money to come see her. And she thinking I'm only coming to see her because I got shows in Maryland and DC. So like this disconnect was crazy because I wasn't being honest, because my pride wasn't there. So I'm writing all of that out now, and it's been liberating. Even this poem, like I don't have no kids, and I don't know how I feel about fatherhood. I mean, I think I'll be a dope father, but I don't think I've ever met somebody, outside of my ex, and we lost a kid. But other than that, I don't have any kids. And so like this woman who I didn't want to date, she was like spreading rumors that I was gay, and I'm like, because I curved you, I'm gay. Like that's weird to me. Like because I wore condoms and got a good pull-out game, I gotta be gay. Like that's crazy to me. Not to be too crass. You good. So I remember that happened, and Greg was like, yo, you never wrote about that. This was like 2-3 years after the fact. He was like, we have to write on everything. And so I've been going back writing about things that I don't know if I healed from, that I think I just suppressed. So whether it's love, so specifically about love, we suppress it, we push it down. It's like you don't want to think about it, you don't want to deal with it. But again, that's gonna come back up one way or another, whether it's not trusting somebody
or the other.
Whether you end up being possessed.
Since you said you go back and write on other things that you don't think that you've healed from, how do you, or when do you decide that a piece is finished, or are your pieces ever finished?
So I don't think they're ever really finished, because again, you might get perspective
20 years
later. Mm-hmm. Like if I was to rewrite if I were to go back and touch up the lightning bug piece, I would have a little bit more onus in that. You know what I mean? Like I felt like, I don't think it was like a blame game. The poem really is about like feeling trapped in a relationship, but I may have added the whole thing about, I may have added something that I did. Maybe I did something to, or I wasn't doing what I needed to do to make you feel secure. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe I could have done more. So I don't think a poem is ever really done. And I haven't written a poem about my ex, because I'm turning that into a screenplay. Like I'm not good enough to do that yet. I'm still learning. I'm still becoming a better writer with screenplays. So I'm like, that's going to be an entire, if not a 4-part kind of piece of thing, or if not, maybe a movie. But even like the idea of like the heartbreak of deciding to raise this kid and then him being taken away. I haven't written on that yet. And I don't know if there's any man I don't know if that story exists. So maybe that's why I had to live it. I don't know. I can't recall a movie where a guy is specifically talking about the heartbreak of not just losing a relationship, but losing her child, which was your child. You know, I don't know if anybody's ever written that. If it is, I haven't seen it, but I took this kid to school every day. I did homework with him every day. I cooked, you know, we cooked and we had outings, and this was my kid. And one day it's like, you know, again, wasn't no cheating. It wasn't no abuse and nothing like that. It just was, you know, it was a weird situation. Shout out to Tiff. You know, I did find out that she was I didn't have enough money for her. Let's put it like that. She was used to a certain lifestyle. I ain't have it. When I had it, she was cool. When I didn't have it, you know, we had to tighten our belt. She ain't signed up for it. I won't disrespect it, but so much. I haven't seen that kid since that day. You know, I know that was 12, 18, 17. I know the day that the last time I saw this kid. And so even just trying to, and that goes back into the boundaries, because I had to set a boundary where I was like checking her page to watch him grow up. And I can't do that to myself. I had to set a hard boundary. This ain't just responsibility no more. You wanted it to be a responsibility. She didn't. You gotta let this go.
Shit.
And that was rough.
That's deep.
So again, I haven't written on that, but that's going to be its own thing. I'm becoming a better writer so that I can do that. It's justice. So I think, you know, no different than if you look at a book, some stuff you wrote in high school, you know, you look like, I could write this way better. We're never really done. Never really done. You know,
I think I'm gonna redo. I've got a rap song. I don't know if you remember Nikita, but I did a rap song. Me and her did a rap song together. She was my producer. I had the bars, and we wrote this rap. Bars, Coco, bars.
Yeah.
But we wrote that rap in 2015. It's affectionately titled "Snap Your Fucking Neck." I think I can rewrite that way.
See what I'm saying? Because you're not the same person no more.
Right.
You write it from a different perspective. You have way more. You have more wisdom. You have more understanding of yourself, more experience. Yes, you're never really done.
So I tell people all the time, like with a movie like The Color Purple, watching it when I had no business watching it, I understood what I understood for that time. But reading the book again at 40, watching the movie again somewhere between that 40 and 40, like totally different understanding of who Mr. was, who Avery was, who Suge Avery's dad was. Like, it totally, my 12, 13, 15-year-old perspective had no business in The Color.
But even if you got, you might not have understood the adult themes and the things that you understand now, but it was entertainment, it was comedy, you know, it was dope in some spots, it was funny in other spots. So we get stuff out of that. And that's how I try to write, you know, my series. If you can get the deeper, if you only get a laugh in it, then I did my job. But if you understand the deeper themes and the message, you know, behind everything, that's even better. I'm like that with the book The Alchemist. Like when the first time I read it, like I read it now, I'm like, yo, because we're in different places in our life. Like I ain't even peeped that the first time. I didn't even understand this purpose thing the first time. Now it's a beautiful thing. Like that's the beauty of art. You evolve, so it evolves with you.
So between humor, mentorship, and art, where do you feel the most yourself in those categories?
I don't think it really is. I don't have one without the other.
Okay.
I don't have one. Like, I'm always going to be a creative. Even when I have to step away, like I haven't written a quote unquote poem in so long, but my scripts, like most of my poems are stories. The Lightning Bug, it's a story. Thirsty, it's a story. Like there's stories. They're just written with a different set of parameters around them. I've always tried to make people laugh. You know, I wasn't close to being the funniest person in school, but I if nothing else, my laugh was gonna make y'all laugh. You know, I was gonna be the real Joe when that's laughing real loud, so now everybody's laughing. Like so my art, my humor, my art, and mentorship is all hand in hand. Like I can't turn off being a mentor. Even just saying, hey, y'all need trust me, switch up your thumbnails because this worked for me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that
Yeah.
it doesn't turn off. If I'm in the market and I see somebody doing like, yo, actually, if you pick it up like that, it never turns off. I mean, I had to accept that. Like, I can't. Once I start slicing those pizzas off me, that's when I lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The things have come and gone, but as long as I don't try to not be myself, then I don't lose. So it really is an intersection. It's an intersection where I can't turn any of them off ever. So I'm always going to try to make people laugh. I'm always going to try to make you think. I'm always going to try to do something as creative as possible.
Yeah.
Even with the PP, as absurd as PP is, it's a talking eggplant that's just absurd. You know what I mean? Like that's the creativity of a talking eggplant was funny to me.
Yeah.
And he just says the most ridiculous things to make you laugh. And you sometimes you mad you laughing at this crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
PP got to chill. PP
got to chill, but he's never going to
chill. PP got to chill.
So what's next? What's next for the Vision Poet platform? Like, how do you want to be remembered?
I just want to make people laugh. I want to take you again. I feel like Trashterpiece can be watched by a 22-year-old, by a Gen Alpha or a Gen Z, and I've been told like young people like it, and that's cool. I like that, but I like that for us, we get a nostalgic moment. We get to go back to 2000, or you hear every episode starts with, it never says the year was 2000. It says like the year was Destiny's Child such and such.
Right.
You may not remember what you were doing in 2000, but you knew when Single Lady, you knew where you was at the first time you heard Single Lady.
Yes.
So that means something to me, that we can get something out of this. The Zennials, the Gen X, the early millennial, we get something out of that. So it's going to be continuing to grow as an artist. I just, if you watch the first episode was the first one I've ever animated is awful, but I keep it up because I like to see how far I've gone. Like now I have a home little setup that I've always created. Like I do the voices, I animate it myself. I do all the editing. I was always a one-stop shop, but now I'm in the studio, and now I got other actors, and now I'm in my directing bag, and now I'm listening to and I'm feeding off them, and I'm giving them like, hey, this is the script, but if you think your character would say something different, let's try that. So now I'm like in a whole different bag where it's expanding. And I love what I do, and I get to do it I'm blessed to get to do it full time. So I'm just going to continue to do this and grow as an artist, continue to build a community so it can continue to pay me. And if Hollywood comes knocking, cool. I always say I'm on Hollywood's porch. Like I can hear the music. I see people going by like, what up, Viz? And they going in, but I ain't get to go in yet. If that never happens, I'm blessed. If I can just make money, pay my bills, have a good life by just what I can create out of my mind, what other blessing do I ever need but that? Anything else, that's amazing. So we're going to continue to be creative, have little side stories, and at some point I want to have the goal ultimately is to continue with vision statements, which is my baby, to be able to produce other people's work, to get other people off the ground, to produce like, hey, listen, I want to be the person that give you a shot. You got a crazy idea, you got a good work ethic, you know what I mean? Let's give it a shot. So I want to be the person that I've needed in this moment for other creatives.
Remember, and that's gonna be a blessing to somebody that just never thought that anybody would see or hear their work.
Yeah.
So I hope that you get to see all those weird and different people to put them in front of us.
Definitely. Just if you're creative and you got a work ethic, that's a big thing. My pop always been like, my pop never cared what my dream was. My pop never cared, if what I was going to be in life. All he cared is that I worked hard. And to this day, like he hates his little side stories in Trashterpiece. He can't stand with your Trashterpiece. He hates it. But he's so proud that I work hard, and I hear him bragging sometimes, like, yeah, he met with
that a wonderful feeling to hear your parent brag about you.
Yeah. It is, like, to this day, like as a grown ass man, my father is now 67, and it still warms my heart when he's proud. Like, I still want to make him proud of me.
Yeah.
So I try to do things the right way, and always, because he's watching, and he's sacrificed so much for me. So I would love to have that Hollywood moment where he could brag. but he still brags with lowly old me and like still in Philly, still just
Well, don't
creating.
forget us little people. You know, once you get through that door and off the porch, you know.
No. And when they let me in, I'm not a Hollywood kind of person in that regard where I think I'm better than anybody. Like I've been the same person since you met me, Tasha. I ain't never changed.
Yeah.
I ain't never gonna change.
Yeah, in Philly, in Charlotte, don't matter.
Yep, don't matter. I'm the same person. And the thing is because I like who I am. I ain't gotta try to be nobody else.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta try to front for girls. I ain't one of them guys who get on and now you gotta get some girls. Like I had that. I'm 6'7". That means that I get no validation from that. You know what I mean? That's nothing to me. I just want to make art and make people laugh and have cool people around me. Like I want to be. Just a quick story. I was on tour and we driving from Phoenix to Vegas through the desert. I'd never been in the desert before, and it was beautiful because as a big guy, I love when I'm around things that are bigger than me. It makes me feel small, and the desert just makes you feel tiny. And we get to this like if you've ever made the drive, it's like you're in the middle of the desert. It's like almost like a T. You got to make this turn to continue to go to Vegas, and at the T. There's like an old Western kind of general store. And it had like like the Powerball was like 900 million. And so one of my, we're in the car, like we go play, like if I win this, I'm gonna do this. My friends are like, my tour mates are like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm hopping on the first plane back to Philly and I'm doing this and the third. And the other one says something similar. And I just couldn't think, but I would continue to do exactly what I'm doing. I would just have $900 million in my bank. I would do the show tonight. I would continue to tour because I love doing this. I would still do Trashterpiece. I would just have a fat bank account and way more resources to make it even funnier. Like when you like yourself, you ain't got to change. Yeah. Like I like who I am. I'm content with who I am.
So if you have a couple more minutes, we do a segment here called Ask or Pass. And what we do is we throw out different statements, no explanation needed. If it's something that you like, feel, vibe with, you want to ask it. Okay. But if it's something that you want to do away with, we're going to pass it. You want to play Ask or Pass with us?
Play. I love it.
All right, let's go, y'all.
All right. So I got the first one. The first one is talent can't outwork consistency. Ash or pass?
Ash.
I'm going to definitely ask that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Like
vulnerability is the new strength.
I'm going to ask that. I'm
going to ask it too.
I'm going to ask it. And with the caveat that I think it's always been the strength. We just didn't recognize it as such.
Right.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Vision. Black men get enough space to be soft.
Pass.
Yeah, that's definitely a hard pass.
Hard pass.
I think sometimes that's us. That's on us as well. We can't just blame that specifically on Black women.
Yeah.
You ain't taking the space. Yeah. Nobody can give you the space.
Right. Yeah. The internet has made poetry too performative.
Ash, 100%. 100%.
I've got poets that I like that I met on the internet. And they definitely do a lot. Like their craft is their craft.
Yeah.
They do a lot. They definitely do a lot.
All right. My last one is you can mentor someone you're still learning from. I'm gonna ask that.
100%.
Yeah, ask that. Ask that. Love is overrated. Healing is where the real power is. I'm gonna pass it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm at the smoke on that one for a little while.
She didn't make the new category. I love it.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna smoke on that.
Yeah, love is overrated. Healing is where the real power is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna
require love in the healing.
I'm gonna pass that, and here's why. If you have the proper love, you don't have to get to the healing.
Or if you have the proper love, you get to heal.
It will heal you.
Yeah.
Whether it's giving you the space, whether it's healing it, so that's the only.
We have to smoke on that a little bit.
Yeah. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. Ash on that. I'm ashing it.
Say it again, Tasha.
If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, Ash it.
I say in general, Ash. I think there are some places that you can grow in comfort, but I think it's rare.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that.
You would have to come to a place almost whole, and whatever that whole means for you.
And I think I'm thinking specifically in love. Like if you with somebody who is whole and you're whole, and there's a comfort there where she is giving you just space to be yourself.
Right.
Then creativity is being made. Now you feel like, you know, home is taken care of. You feel like so that it's rare. I would say just in general, I agree with that, but the caveat that is rare that can happen.
Yeah. You can't mentor someone you can't relate to. Ash it or pass it.
Pass.
I'm gonna pass that too. I'm gonna pass that too. I think art should always be political, whether you intend it to be or not.
Thanks.
And I think, Mish, I might have to smoke on that one for a while. I want to say depending on the conditions. And our condition, I feel like, is always challenging.
Mm-hmm. We got Vision. He threw his eyes up in the air. So what you got going on, Vision?
So I'm thinking it all depends on how we are defining political. If it's if we're considering joy an act of resistance and political in that regards, then maybe. But if I'm thinking about hip hop, we like the kid and plays of the world mattered for just complete joy, complete just taking your mind off the situation and just dancing and not worrying about nothing. So I think
ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Yeah, ain't gonna hurt no. Like I think sometimes we just need that level of frivolity where like nothing for the next 20 minutes. I ain't thinking about nothing that's going on in this crazy world. So I think there's a beauty in that level of art too. So I'm gonna say pass.
Like nice. Like that. Was that your last one, Tasha?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Every man should have a creative outlet. After that.
I'm gonna pass that. An outlet is good enough.
I was gonna say that. I think an outlet. It doesn't have to be creative. Like my father isn't a very creative person, but he bowls. And my father plays Pokemon Go, and he loves it. to just get out the house and go do something to just take his mind off the world sometimes. So an outlet, yes, it doesn't have to be creative though.
Okay. Social media has made more poets than it's ruined. I'm gonna ask that.
Has made more poets than it's ruined. I can ask that.
Because now we get to see a lot more people that are doing their poetry than ever before because they have a platform to do it on now. Yeah.
I'll ask that.
I think social media has ruined poetry culture in some ways, but I would be a hypocrite if I didn't ask that, because it's no different than what Deaf Poetry did for me, what Brave New Voices did for another generation. Like it showed you what could be possible. So I'll ask that.
You can't teach authenticity. You either have it or you don't.
Ash.
Ash to ash.
Ash, you can't teach it. All you can do is project it to be it and hope that somebody will
pick it up.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Absolutely.
Sometimes silence says more than performance ever could.
Yeah, Ash.
100% Ash. On a micro and a macro level, and it's funny. I mentor and coach the Swarthmore College team, or the poetry club at Swarthmore College, and that was the lesson we did last week. You don't sometimes a beat is all you need after your line, and it carries so much weight. Like saying nothing can carry so much weight on a micro level and a macro level. And again, we know that with relationships. So somebody, listen, As somebody who got a PhD in black women with a black mom living in a black neighborhood, when a black woman is silent, you got some issues.
Yeah, you gotta look out.
Yeah.
Out
The
for that.
house is not safe. Right,
Yes.
right.
Silence.
You know what they say? Like, you don't have to be concerned when she's yelling at you or she's arguing at you or she's expressing her
She's so
concern, what she wants, what she needs, what she desires. As long as that woman is talking to you, she feels cared. Yeah. But when I stop talking and she gets silent on you, brother, you got a problem. You got a problem. Because more than likely she don't care no more. Purpose is heavier than passion. Ask her back.
Purpose is heavier than passion. And so I'm going to pass it, and I'll say why.
Why?
I often tell people, if I'm not passionate about it, I'm likely not going to do it, right? So my purpose is in the things that I am passionate about. I could probably find it outside of my passion. I'm going to pass it because passion, I think, is the vehicle, and purpose is the driver. But you got to have the vehicle.
I can see that, but
Yeah, you gotta
I can see that. Yeah.
I passed it because it's easy for me to do things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Walking your purpose sometimes is the most difficult thing.
Listen,
hard.
When you're called to do something, it's not always.
It don't go away.
So it's really easy for me to do things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Leaf Affair cigar. Get it at the Leaf Affair Cigar Shop in Killeen and Salado, Texas, or online at leafaffair.com.
Genius in your friend group? Yeah, us too. That's why you'll fit right in with the Enlightened Idiot podcast, live every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. We're talking bold takes on sex, mental health, current events, and all the stuff you forget you care about until somebody says it out loud. So slide through, kick back, and get your dose of real talk and reckless wisdom. Stay enlightened.
So I wanted a poem, but I'm not going to browbeat you.
Wait, browbeat, because I almost asked him for a sample of that poem that he was talking about about the chick. I just wanted to hear just like one line, 2 lines, maybe.
The one about I was about to say her name.
Don't say her name.
But yeah, I'll do that. I'll share that one. That's no problem.
I'm gonna go on mute so you can do your thing.
She shot her shot, and I said I wasn't interested. She said, "What are you, gay or something?" And I guess that was supposed to be an insult, and it's not. I guess I was supposed to be offended, and I wasn't. She followed with, "So why else don't you have kids? Why have you never been married?" I could have told her it's because my heart's too soft and I love too hard not to be with my kids every day if I can help it. And there's nothing wrong with co-parenting, but I'd rather gift my baby something I didn't have. Parents purposely flirting, dinner table discussions, my wife and I making our babies faux disgusted, singing old school duets, me as Method Man, her as Mary J, like Sweet Morning Dew, a daily reminder, a perpetual purpose. So I wait, believing the universe is conspiring to give me a love like Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil, Cliff and Claire minus the bill, so I have no kids because I've never been married. I've always known I'd be an amazing father, but maybe I'm still life lesson learning the things I need to be her husband. I'm not looking for a wife. I'm waiting for my wife. Note the distance and the difference. This may be a painful perseverance, but I know my worth. And until I find she with abundant love and patience who understands reciprocity, I'm content with being married to my work, to my passion, to my purpose. She deserves this tenfold. Life is too short to be with anyone who doesn't love you like life is too short. So I wait, knowing my Fatima will find me. My Nina Mosley will know me, and I'll be everything she needs. Won't settle for anything less than Kavi and Shireen Maktub. I understand the need to rationalize the refusal. So if using gay as an insult is how she reconciled the rejection, who am I to argue with her ignorance? Who am I to deny her karma? Who is she to waste my next inhale? An explanation wasn't due. But since you asked, it's not that I don't like women. I just don't like you.
Jesus be offense. Jesus be offense.
Somebody come get him. Somebody come get him.
I couldn't have asked for
Okay,
anything.
Vision.
I couldn't have asked for
I have
anything.
thoroughly enjoyed you. Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
I was so
Yes,
happy
sir.
to be here.
Good.
Yeah, that right there.
That
That's
part.
that
I'm still reeling. Yes, I'm still reeling. I'm still reeling. I'm still reeling. I'm still high. But we have come to that part in the show that we like to call the final draw. Vision the Poet reminded us that tonight that words don't just tell stories. They shift rooms, heal generations, and demand truth. Wherever you smoke, sip, or simply sit with your thoughts, influence is what you do with what you've been through. Somebody better say it again. Influence is what you do with what you've been through. So big love to Vision Poet for sharing with us the impact of influence. It's not about a moment, but a movement. At Ashes and Influence, it's never just about the smoke. It's also about the story behind it and the story that it leaves. Until next time, may your ash be long, your vision be 2020, and your influence be unforgettable.
Absolutely. Hey,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vision.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for having me.